there is a parasite called horsehair worm. Horsehair worm. That is horse hair worm. There's a parasite called horsehair worm that lives inside the praying mantis. Now, this is what happens. That horsehair worm is a parasite. It will live inside the stomach of the praying mantis, and it will be growing for maybe weeks, for months. It will be there. It will be growing gradually. But then, if it stays in that praying mantis for a longer time, it will die. So the only way it can survive is that if it comes out of the praying mantis, it must move into water directly. It must go into water. It must start swimming in water. If it comes out, maybe the praying mantis now defecates it out, it will die. So what that horsehair worm will now do is that the horsehair worm will now find its way to the brain of the praying mantis. You see, as small as praying mantis is, I'm telling you something that will shock you. It will find its way to the brain of the praying mantis and rewire the brain of the praying mantis to start longing for water. The praying mantis now become thirsty. Normally, the natural life of the praying mantis is that they avoid water at all costs. They avoid anything that has to do with water. They run away from it. The moment you take them to anywhere there's water, they disappear. They are running away. But this horse fire the brain of the praying mantis. Then the praying mantis will now start thirsting for water. The praying mantis will now start walking towards anywhere it can sense water. That's what the praying mantis do. Something that it doesn't naturally do. There are things that are happening in your life that naturally this is not your lifestyle. But you have stomached some people in form of friendship, in form of relationship, in form of church members, in form of girlfriend. You have stomached them in your life to a point where they have rewired your mind. You begin to understand that the secret to the actions you take is the rewiring of your mind. That is why the Bible says it's by the renewing of your mind. So something comes into you and they begin to. So what this horsehair worm does is that it will rewire the brain of the praying mantis. The praying mantis will start walking towards water. Even when his friends are telling him, guy, you know that is water now. Nobody knows what is happening on the inside. All they see is the action is taken on the outside. That is why the Bible says, guide your hearts with all diligence, because out of it comes issues of. The moment you allow some humans, there are things that you started doing. And when you started, you didn't even know why you started doing it. But you have stayed around these people for so long that they have rewired your mind. You that is supposed to be thinking as a king, you are now thinking as a servant. You that is supposed to be chasing after thrones, you are now chasing after dirt. And you find yourself in places, it's the same thing that happened to the prodigal son. But let me finish the story of the praying mantis. It will now walk to the river, to a water. And the more the horsehair worm is realizing that we are getting close to the river, the more it begins to rewire it more to long after water. It longs after water as though without the water it will die. Then it will jump into the river. When it jumps into the water, of course, it cannot swim, so it will drown. When it drowns and the body begins to decay, to destroy, to scatter, then the horsehair worm will now swim and start its own life cycle. The only way it can start its own life cycle is by taking the life of a praying mantis. There are things that are designed, there are people that are designed that the only way they can find fulfillment in their life is to destroy your own. They are all over the internet. They are everywhere. There are women whose marriages have been destroyed, and the only way they can feel good about themselves is to help you destroy your own. Be careful of the people you listen to. Be careful of the people you keep in your stomach, the people you keep within your circle. You call them friends. You call them, hey, this one, she's my clique. This one is my colleague. This one is my. Be very careful. The moment you realize that these people are trying to rewire your mind to walk towards something that will destroy you, cut off from them. I'll see you in the next video.